And we're live here in the house. So thank you for joining me here. It's Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter. My name's Peter. We're brought to you here in association with the tarotech.com. So don't forget to check out the tarotech.com for all of that super interesting tarot news that's going on these days. And also check out my Facebook page, which is Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter. That's me. So you've come along, you've joined me. We're doing our first live stream on YouTube. This is YouTube. We're doing our first live stream on YouTube. And today we're talking about the tarot cards. Here they are. Here's the tarot cards. This is what they are. So what exactly is a set of tarot cards? Let me see. Get my little picture up. Here we go. So in a set of tarot cards, there are 78 cards. Here they are, 78 cards. And these cards are split into two groups. These groups are the major and the minor arcana. So I'll just quickly talk about the tarot cards and why they're put together. And in the meantime, if anyone's got any questions they'd like me to ask the tarot cards here live on YouTube, I'm more than happy to do that. Let's go in, let's get some answers, and let's find out what there is out there for you. So please come on the chat. Send me some messages. Let me know what you'd like to ask the cards, and we'll do it. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm pretty confident it's going to be amazing. It should be. No, it will. It's going to be amazing. So back to the tarot cards. Here they are. 78 tarot cards in the deck, split into two groups, the major arcana and the minor arcana. So we'll start off. Let's talk about the minor arcana. So the minor arcana, there's 56 cards in this group and these are split into four suits like regular playing cards. So when we see the playing cards, when we see the suits, everything in tarot has a symbolic meaning. It's a symbolic language, if you want, of learning. A symbolic language. It talks to us across the aeons of time. So the minor arcana, four suits. The suits are swords, wands, cups and pentacles. They may have different names from deck to deck, but pretty much that's generally it. So it's swords, wands, cups and pentacles. Now each of these suits has a meaning, so we look at the meaning of these suits. So first of all, we'll start off with the swords. Now what do the swords mean? Well, when the swords come up, they deal with things of the mind, intellect. It's always a thinking, sort of intellectual, logical suit. And each suit has an element, and the element for the swords is the wind. So the wind is always rushing and moving quickly. So hence the suit of the swords is always a very fast moving, quick moving suit that flies through the air. Everything happens fast. Next up is the wands or rods or sticks. Now these deal with our passions. This is the suit of passions. It's all what comes from the heart. It's about knowing how that works. I'm passionate about this. I'm going to go out and do it. So this is what this is saying. We're super passionate and we want to know what they're. And their element is fire. So it's fire for the suit of wands. So when we see the suit of wands and they come up, it's all about, our desires, our passions and fire. Here's an interesting fact. In the tarot, out of all the suits, the only one which is actually alive, even though it's not alive, but it is alive because it breathes, it feeds, it grows, it lives, it dies, it's fire. So just like our passions, our passions can be burning, our burning desire to go out and do it. And burning desire, I'm definitely not doing that. I'm passionate, but I'm not going to do it. Right, that is the suit 2. The next suit we're going to look at is cups. So cups deal with emotions. It's our emotional side, our inside, our inner self, if you want. And their element is water. Because like water, our emotions are always flowing. They can be nice and calm, like the perfectly still mirror finish on a lake with no wind, or it could be an incredible, raging, crashing, waterfall, rapid torrents moving quickly. Just like our emotions, they're always moving, trying to find a level plane. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow. And the final suit we've got here is the Pentacles, or discs, or round things. And they deal with money and material things. And their element is the earth. So it's a very grounded, down to earth suit. So money and material things when they come up. So in each set of cards in the minor arcana, each suit has 10 cards. These are called the pip cards. And then these start from an ace, which is a new beginning, a new fresh start, being presented a new beginning. And we'll finish in a 10, which is a conclusion of a small cycle. So, hold on one sec, excuse me. A little cough. So, that is the minor arcana pip cards. So when these cards come up, it's day-to-day, week-to-week general sort of stuff that's going to come up around our lives. In each suit also, there's 4 cards called the court cards. Now these cards are pages, knights, queens and kings. Now this is in the Rider-Waite deck that I'm using here, and some decks based on the Rider-Waite. I will say there are other decks, for example the Aleister Crowley Froth deck and the Hermetic Dawn deck. They are set up slightly different. This will be Prince, Princess, Knight, Queen, a slightly different order to the court cards, and we're not using them, just something to keep in mind if that comes up. But today we're doing the Rider-Waite style decks with the standard court cards. Oh, I haven't said what the court cards do. So court cards deal with personalities. It's the personality of a person. It could be your personality. It could be the personality of someone in our lives, or it could be the personality of a situation. I know that sounds a bit mad, but it could be. We can see. I'm going to do some readings here, waiting to see if we're going to get any questions. No questions yet, but don't worry guys, we've got plenty of time. I'm here for about an hour, and we've got plenty of time left on the clock, so please, send in your questions to me. Right, that's the minor arcana. So that is the minor arcana we've dealt with there. Now the major arcana. Now here's the interesting thing. In the major arcana, this is more big life stuff, those big archetypal forces that are in our lives and come in and really guide big life stuff. So the major arcana cards deal with the big life stuff, and there's 22 cards in the major arcana. So these are numbered 0 to 21. I know, bonkers, but card 0 is the Fool. And then if you take the 22 major arcana cards and lay them out in their numerological order, this gives you something that's called the Fool's Journey. So basically it's the Fool starts the fresh spirit, the childlike, naive, innocent, but without any baggage. Just got his wares on his back, he's got his little companion with him, and they're out skipping through the mountains. And when you see the picture, you'll see that he's about to fall off a cliff because he's not looking down. So you've got to bear that in mind. You've got to look down when you're running through mountains, otherwise it could be a nightmare. Right, that said, so the Fool's Journey, major arcana, card 0, Fool's Journey, from the fresh start through life. Then he learns lots, goes into death, and after death he's going through the spiritual realm and learning all about the spiritual realm around him. So here we are, super simple. That's the minor and major arcana of the tarot cards. Right, so what we're going to do, still not got any questions coming yet, but it's okay. I know you guys are out there. You can always send me some questions later and we can use them in following videos. Remember, if you'd like your questions dragged across the World Wide Web, live here from the tarotech.com presents Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter, that's me, then send me through your questions. But for the moment, while we're waiting for some more people to log in and join us, let's have a look at some sample readings. So I'm going to go to the tarot table. Here is the tarot table. So on here, now let's just say, let's find a question that we could ask the cards. We can just do a quick, simple Oh, hello, Joe Mystics, first time viewer. Thank you for joining me. We've got some people coming in. If you've got any questions for the cards, Joe, let me know. We got a question here from Joe, and Joe says to us, what is Brent's intentions, feelings will further the romantic connection soon? Joe, that's a great question. And in fact, here we are. I'm going to give the cards a shuffle. Yay, I can't believe you've actually got a question. It's fantastic. We're starting off our journey here, seeing what comes up. I love doing this tarot card stuff. It's an amazing hobby. If you've not got into it before, I can definitely recommend taking up some tarot cards. So, Joe, I'm just going to give the old cards a shuffle. And what we'll do is we'll just pick 3 cards and we'll have a look and see what those 3 cards are saying to us. So, here we go. We've got 1, 2. Blimey, Joe. Well, we've gone straight off the bat. We've got 3 of the big major Arcana cards, which is pretty incredible, I have to say. Starting off here. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Our first card we've got up here is the Temperance card. So, Temperance, major Arcana card number 14. So what I'll do is, first of all, let's have a look at the card, and we'll have a look at the imagery in the card, and we can see how these start playing in. So I'll go through the meaning of these cards and we'll see how this goes. We're doing a 3-card position here. So I'm going to say these cards at the moment are past, present, and future outcomes. So we bang straight off the bat with 3 major cards. Unbelievable. Okay, so the first major Arcana card here is we've got Temperance. We've got this angelic figure is standing here, and if we see, we've got 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on land. In the background we can see there's a path going off and there's a sun here. The angelic figure is pouring water from one chalice to another. On the front we've got the triangle, the 3 sides of the spiritual realm represented, and here angelic rays are flying out from the angel's head. What does this card mean? Okay, it's this is the card of moderation. When we see Temperance, it's about taking it a bit easy. If we're rushing through life, it's a message, let's keep our physical selves and our spiritual selves balanced. We want to keep that balance and keep to the path. So what was the question? So Brent's intentions, feelings, will he further the romantic connection soon? So in the past, when we're looking at this card has come up, and this is saying to us that here in the past, what was the questions? Feelings about further romantic connections too. So in the past, it's all about keeping that balance between what the head says and what the body's feeling. So whilst there could be this romantic connection, this romantic desire, it's not being not rushing into it, I think is what I'm trying to say. We don't want to rush into this. Here we can see on the card, it is about keeping the balance. So in the past, it's been a sort of, Joe's awesome, but we're just sort of keeping the status quo here. There's nothing really being happening. Now let's have a look at the present situation. Here we've got the Hierophant. I love the old Hierophant card, also known as the Pope card in some decks. So the basic meaning of this card is following the rule set, if you want. This is part of 3 cards. If we've got the major Arcana laid out in the Fool's Journey in their numerological order, this card comes after the Empress and the Emperor. So if we can think of the Empress and the Emperor looked after the Empire, the Emperor was the governor for the Empire, that masculine spirit pushing in, and the Empress is Mother Nature, that feminine spirit throughout the world, nature and nurturing. The Hierophants here were the old rule setters of the time, the spiritual leaders, the people who would, you know, say, this is what we got to do, guys. We got to look here. We got to stay in this direction. Right, I'm sort of rambling on a bit, but here, the Hierophant. As we look at this picture, we can see we've got our rather regally dressed and obviously a person of authority sat on a large throne. He's surrounded by two large stone pillars. Down at his feet, we can see there are the keys in the cross, and he's wearing the papal shoes here with the crosses on them. Here we have two monk type characters who are looking up and receiving the gospel from the man, if you want. What does this say about our situation when we're talking about Joe? Brent's intentions, furthering the romantic connection. This is saying, what this says to me at the moment is, in this present situation, whilst Joe is in the past, it's about, you know, just keeping the status quo and not really going. At the moment, there's this maybe a decision time. There's these rules which are being set out which need to be followed. I know, like, life is not always about following rules, but here this is saying to us that at this present situation, while things may have been okay, you know, we've been keeping it balanced, at the moment we might want to look at a new direction. Let's sit down and actually see what's going on in the relationship. Let's have a look at our future card here. And here he is. I was talking about him earlier. You probably know him as card number 0. It's the Fool, this fresh spirit, the new guy out into life. Childlike, almost, naive. As I was saying before, we can see that our Fool is dancing along through the mountains. He's very happy. He's got all of his wares on his back. He's got the white rose of purity because he's pure of spirit, and he's got his little companion here who's keeping him happy and you know, just loving as they're going out. But the Fool is about to step off the precipice of the cliff into nothing. So, Joe, here we go. What does this card mean? The Fool. This is in the future sections. So, what are Brent's intentions, feelings, further the romantic connection soon? When I read this spread, it says to me, in the past, it is all about keeping life, the status quo, if you want. You know, the minds, they're happy, and we've got our feet on the ground and the body's happy, but it's sort of not really going anywhere. There are some, you know, paths we could go down, but in the past, it's just about keeping that balance, keeping that idea. In the present situation, though, there's some rules have popped up. Something has popped up into life which is not expected, but here it's about following the rules, sticking to it, and, you know, seeing what's happened. So now in a relationship, is there going to be romantic connection soon? Hallelujah, brother and sister. Here we go. We've got the Fool, the fresh start. So this is saying to me that there can be, as long as we're sticking to what we know, sometimes we need to break the rules. Sometimes we need to step away from the box and find a new direction to go, find that new love. But no, this is saying to me here, there's a fresh opportunity, and this could be the one. It's the opportunity is coming up of Brent's intentions. So what I'm saying to you here at the moment, Joe, is it looks like you're going to definitely be presented with a romantic connection soon. Whilst everything is a bit rigid at the moment and has probably not been the most exciting in the past, here there is this fresh start coming up. So there we go, we've done it. First reading. We got an FMS. Okay, it's okay because he's being very distant. Oh man. Okay, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're only going to do 3 cards. Let's get another card out and let's just add it. We'll see what that says. And then we can build up the story that the cards are saying to us. So let's find, what did I do with the cards? They're here somewhere. We'll just give this a quick shuffle here. And so here we go, Joe. We're going to pick out our final card. So he's being very distant at the moment. This is the card for you. Oh, man. Okay. So why is Brent being so distant? We're not sure about this. We'd like to find out. Here we've got the Suit of Wands, and this is card number 7. If we just take in the imagery and the symbolism in the picture, we can see here we've got a young figure standing on the high ground, holding his wand, his stick. So this is his passion. So he's literally holding his passions in his hand, and he's having to stand his ground. Here we've got many other figures, all with their passions, trying to get up and enforce their way in there. But the man is sticking to his high ground. And we're talking about passions here. So why is Brent being so distant? This is saying to me that Brent is being very guarded, I think, is what we'd say. He's being very guarded at the moment, especially when we look here and we can see all these other passions around. So what this really looks like is that there's a lot of passions and choices flying around. There's a lot going on. But here we need to sort of stand the ground. So Brent is being distant at the moment because he's not really sure what it is he's looking for in the relationship. When we look at this card particularly, he's not really sure what it is in the relationship, and why is he being so distant. It's like there's this standing his ground. Maybe he's put barriers up. So my advice is let's talk about these barriers and how you know what it is, this passion that's coming along. But let's bear in mind we've got this fresh start here. So whether it's going to be the fresh start with Brent, even though he seems to be standing his ground on a subject or a situation, we've got this fresh start in the future. There we go, Joe. I think that's it. I think amazing. So it is, I'd say that there are some romantic intentions, but it's very much stuck in the rule book at the moment. But this fresh start, this new beginning, awesome. It's great. First one done. I hope that helps, Joe. You know, amazing. Brent's always, it's going to be good. Don't worry about things. Everything's going to be good. Now we got this new guy in. We got I hope I say this right. Prachi. It says hi Prachi. I hope you're saying your name right. Oh, you're very welcome, Joe. I hope that helps, and good luck with the future. Right, so what we got here. My ex communicated with me 2 days back and unblocked me. Will he come back into my life and communicate again? Okay, well, there's a good question. We've got an ex there from the past. Let's get the cards and we'll give these a good shuffle. So let's try and think, what's a good way to put that question to the cards? I suppose my ex communicated with me 2 days ago and has unblocked you. I'm guessing from Facebook or social media or something like that. Will he come back into his life and communicate again? So what we do here, I'm going to do the 3 card reading, the past, present, future, and we'll see what the cards say. Super exciting. Here we go. Right. Give the cards a shuffle. To the card table. Right. Oh man. Okay. Here we are on the card table. We'll start off with this one here. In the past section, we have got the Suit of Swords. We've got a court card, so this looks at the personality, and we've got the Suit of Swords, and this is the Page of Swords. In the olden days, I think I'll just explain quickly a little bit about the court cards and how they're structured within the tarot decks. In the old and medieval days, the pages would be the apprentice. They're learning their craft, learning their skills. So when we look at this guy here, we've got the Page of Swords. So swords, intellect, the mind, the wind. It's a fast moving card. We can see a lot of movement here. So in the past, this is was learning of the mind. So learning how to deal with the situation. So we're talking about here, my ex communicated with me 2 days ago and he's unblocked me. Will he come back into my life and communicate again? So here in the past, we've got a lot of stuff going on in the mind. So it's dealing how to deal with the mind and what it is in the mind. You know, what's been up there, what's been going on, what's been happening there. Right, that's the basic meaning of that card. We'll come back and we'll see how the cards all go together in a sec. Here we've got the Death card. Okay, so no need to worry about the Death card. Doesn't mean you're going to die literally. This card is more about the death of a situation and rebirth. So we're looking at this in the present spot. If we look at the symbolism in the picture, we have got the Grim Reaper skeleton sort of death figure here, sat on top of a mighty white horse, holding a flag with an emblem of a white rose. So here the Grim Reaper is coming in, purifying the land, if we want. If we look in the background, we can see we've got the land here. Oh, wait a minute. Now's the time I can introduce a fantastic new invention we've just got over here at Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter, presented by tarotech.com. We're going to use the exciting and amazing Magnovision. Oh man, I've been waiting for this. Here we go. We're going to go Magnovision so we can see more carefully at the cards. Yes, check that out. Right, so here we go. We've got the figure here. We've got the Grim Reaper figure. We've got the white rose of purity. He sat across his mighty horse. Here, he's going across the land, purifying from death and suffering. We can see in the ground here, we've got some people who have presumably passed on to the next realm, whilst we've got some other people looking ahead. We've got a lady looking away who doesn't want to look at the situation, where we've got a small child figure looking death in the face. In the background, as quickly we can point out, we've got the town. The tower is stood there with the sun setting behind it. So the sun is setting on the situation. So what does this say to us? This is saying, what was the question? Will he get back into communication with you? He's unblocked social media. So here at the moment, this represents the end of a situation. So here we've got to say the situation has been obviously you've been in a relationship and now you've moved apart. There was some big turmoil, come to say, but now it looks like that situation is coming to an end. We got the Death card has stepped up and is saying to us, this is going to be the end now. Not the end of the relationship. I think this is saying to me, this is going to be the end of the blackout of communication, the lack of talking. Forgiveness maybe has gone on. He's gone away and learned how to deal with this deep in the mind. It's not an emotional thing, but this we got in the past here. It is a intellectual, learning intellectually how to deal with this situation, learning how he's going to come along. But here we got the Death cards. So the present situation is saying to us, but this purifying light is coming into life, this purifying of the soul, the purifying that's going to help move the situation at the moment. So here we've got this situation which is coming to an end, whether this was a work situation that they was involved in or not, but here it's a situation coming in. And let's have a look to the future. And oh my god, as we can see here, we've got the Major Arcana card, the World. This is a great card. It is the completion of the great cycle, if you want. If the Fool, card 0, is the beginning of a major stuff going on throughout your life, the bigger archetypes of the Major Arcana coming into play, the World is the conclusion. And here in the picture we can see we've got this female figure here in the center of the card, joyously holding 2 wands. Let's get the super magno vision out and check this out. Here we go, this is better. So we've got the female figure here holding 2 wands in a very happy fashion, surrounded by this large reef all around here, reef of success. And here we've got some red cloth at the top, at the bottom, which is wrapped around in a infinite sort of way. You know, it's that figure of 8, the never-ending circle which is carrying on. But this is a great card because it means the universe is here, or the world. On this one, the world is your oyster. Quickly looking at the card, we've got the 4 beasts, we've got the lion, the bull, the person, and the eagle. So it's the 4 disciplines of life: strength, brute force, sight, and knowledge in the head. Right, let's go back and look at the question. And the question is, he's got in communication. Right, this is what this says to me. In our past situation here, it's been a lot of learning of the mind, learning how to deal with situations, maybe learning in yourself exactly what it is. But we're not looking emotionally here. This is more of a logical assessment of what's going on. At the present here, we've got the end of this situation. Whatever it was in the past but was going on and caused this trouble is coming to an end. It's ending right now. And here, the purifying of the soul is coming in. And the conclusion then in our 3rd card, our conclusion here, is that yes, he is going to get back into communication with you. Things can start afresh after the realization of what's actually been happening and what's gone on here. Looking back at the past about all this, thinking about it, maybe over egging the cake if you want, putting too much thought into it. Here now the situation is much more purifying, which is going to bring us to, yes, we'll get back into communication, is going to get back into touch with you. Right, that's another one done. Question number 2. Amazing. This is going really well. I can't believe how well this is going so far. So far today, we've spoken about the tarot cards. We've answered Joe's question at sighting. I'm going to try and say it again. Thank you. You're very, very welcome. Prachi, I'm really sorry if I say your name wrong, but I hope that helps you. And I hope that moves on life. So here we are. We're doing live readings today. Live readings. I've got about an hour to spend on this. I think we're about halfway through, so we've got about half an hour left. Some very exciting stuff. We've got some more people coming in. Hi, Ashna, how are you? And Ashna would like a question. Of course you can. Tell me what your question is. We'll put it to the cards. We'll ask the tarot and see what they're saying to us today. While we're waiting to see Ashna's question pop up, can I just say, if you've got time, can you please like and subscribe and do all that stuff that you do here on the YouTube, and also pop over to my Facebook page, which is Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter. Please come over there, say hello, give me a like and all that stuff. It's really super exciting. I do private readings, of course. If you want a private reading, then send me a message, we can sort that out. But here, I've got the question straight in. Right. I got told by 2 psychics that I need to leave my husband. Please tell me what my future like with my husband. Oh man, okay. Do I leave him or stay? Okay, Oh, that's a bit of a... I wasn't expecting that one today. I'll get the cards back in. We'll give them a shuffle. And we'll see. So the question are, I've been told by 2 psychics that I need to leave my husband. Please tell me, what's my future like with my husband? Do I leave him or stay? Wow. Okay, here we go now. So we're going to pick a couple of cards. Let's go to the tarot table. So we'll go for the good old past, present, future. This is working well today. All right, let's do it. Let's go this one. Let's go this one. And for the final card, here we go. This one. Bing, bang, bomb. So, we got the moon. We've got the 8 of Wands. Oh, and we got the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, guys, we'll start off here with the moon. Okay, in the past situation. So the moon. What is the meaning of this card? Let's have a look at the symbolism in the picture, because don't forget the tarot is a language of symbolism. So here we have the moon up high in the sky, a full moon radiating moon rays out across the land. We've got the 2 towers symbolizing keeping balance in life, but also the strength to know that the towers are there. Here we've got the fox and the wolf type figure out, and we've got the crustaceans from the sea. When I talk about the moon card, I like to also talk about the sun card. They come as like a pair, if you want. So you can think of it like this. The moon card is about different phases of life, but it's also like things may not be as they seem. And I'll give you a good example. So say you're out at night, you're walking through a woods. It's dark. There's strange sounds all around you. It's a bit creepy. You don't know what's going on. It doesn't feel like a happy place to be. But then the sun comes up and you realise you was in a beautiful woods, and the strange sounds would have been little bunnies running around having a nice time, and there's lots of beautiful bluebell flowers littering the floor. So merely from going from the dark to the light, you've opened your perception. So you've the sun says to us, in the clear light of day everything becomes clear, but the moon says to us, here things may not be as they seem. So what is so in the past we've had lots of different phases going on, and things may not quite be as they seem. We got here the present situation. This is the 8 of Rods. Now this card is about passions and movement. Yes, it's the card of speed. The 8 of Wands is all about that fast moving, fast driving sort of thing that's going on there. Lots of movement, lots of quick stuff happening quickly. So at the moment, passions are high. Now let's move on to our other card, the final card, and this is in our future outcomes position here. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So we're in the suit of Pentacles. Let's use the fantastic Magnovision to get a closer look at this card. Right, here we can see we've got the Queen sat in a beautiful garden surrounded by all the trappings of, glorious. Oh, what am I doing? Here we are. We can see the Queen is sat on her throne. She's sat down looking at a pentacle that's in her hand. Around the bottom of the throne, we can see there is nature everywhere. So we're dealing with a court card here, and this is a personality. So Queens in the court cards. Now this is a rather oldie weldy stereotypical way of looking at cards, but so I'll try not to get in trouble with my language. But here, this is saying the traditional role of the queens in a household would be making sure that the household is looked after. Say the kings are out running the kingdom, the queens would be looking after the household, the status of the people. You know, it's that caring, more feminine side of energies which are looking after the household. So here, the Queen of Pentacles, the personality of this is a very down-to-earth, not mundane, but you know, someone who's in with earth. The pictures where you can see them, the Queen is in the garden on a nice, almost wooden-looking throne, and it's a very autumny scene. So this is a very autumn scene here. So what is this saying? So this is the personality who's someone who's good with money, of course, looks after the money, but is also making sure that everyone in the household is in a good position, you know, is looking in, is staying safe and is looked after. So I'm sort of rambling on a bit, like a rambling thing. Let's go back to the question. Two psychics. I got told by two psychics that I need to leave my husband. Please tell me, what's the future like with my husband? Do I leave him or do I stay? Okay, in the past, this is saying to me there's been some illusion and allegory which has not been quite, you know, how you imagined it, I guess, when you first got married. But it's all sort of come to a head. There's a lot of passions moving around at the moment. Passions are flying high, if you want, and it's sort of being driven in this direction. So in the future, it's saying to me that leave or stay is more sort of down to the money situation that you guys find yourselves in at the moment. I mean, is it financially viable to leave him? But at the same time, you can't stay in a place where you feel that it's not viable. So what should we do? Let's pick one more card, because it's not really giving us too much info here. So let's pick one more card and see what that says. We'll go for a good one. Right, here we go. Oh man, we got the Page of Wands. So Page of Wands, Pages, the apprentice of the day, all about learning, and it's the Page of Wands. So this is about learning to deal with our passions. Learning to deal with our passions. Here we are. We can see the Page of Wands is quite elegantly dressed, holding his passions in his hand, looking up at them, learning how to deal with his passions and how to move in the right way. So, do I leave him or stay? Wow. Okay, basically this is what's saying to me. Things never quite being how they seem. At the moment, passions are running high. It's all moving really quick. What you've really got to do, you've got to sit down and you've got to make sure that financially, you know, everything's going to be in a good place. If you've got kids, but the kids going to be looked after, you know, if you've got the house, what you're going to do with the house, it's basically making sure that things financially are in the right place when it comes to it. But also, we're going to have to learn how to deal with these passions. So these are not. So these cards are not saying to me, definitely leave him or definitely stay. What it's actually saying to me at the moment is up in the air. You need to look at your situation. You need to look and see how this, if this was to carry on, if you was to stay with him, then you're going to have to learn how to deal with all these passions which are going on. But it's not giving me a yes or no answer in any way. It's just really giving me the advice saying that you need to learn how to deal with these passions, and once you've learned what it actually is you want, then you'll be able to take control, make sure financially everything's in the good position, and then if you do move on and leave him, that is, you know, you're prepared in yourself and in the world. I hope that helps. That was an exciting one, wasn't it? So there we go. So Ashna, let me know how you feel about that. But basically, you got to learn how to deal with these emotions and look at the money side of it. But the average day, you have to sort of work out, is it, especially in these days and times when the world is bonkers crazy, what is it you really want from the relationship? But that is the way to go. I'm afraid it's not third time the charms on the psychics, but hey. Right, fantastic. That's question 3 done. Here at Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter, I like to really get involved, and I enjoy it when you are sending your questions in to me. We just had another message from money situation is tight for us. Yes, I completely understand. I tell you what, we could do one more cheeky card and see what that says. We don't want to keep pushing these things though, because if you push too hard, you might not like the answer. Right, here we go. Let's do one more card. Back to the tarot table. So with that, cross with that. This is the past and the present. This is the final card. Here we go. Show me the money, honey. Right. Oh, man. Okay, well, you know, all in all, I'm pleased this card come up. There we go. We had to go one more to see what happened. Here we've got the 8 of Cups, and the 8 of Cups is emotions. And so here we've got the figure. We've got the 8 cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sat here. If we look at the picture, we can see a figure slowly walking away from the cups in this mountainous area. But also, and I do love a moon in tarot, we've got the moon up here, another full moon, sort of, but it could be going into phases. When we've got the moon back here, you know, things are not quite the way they seem in life, so we could be moving into a different phase of life. We've got the moon here on our final card. What really should we do? And this is the card of moving away emotionally, making that emotional break. We see the figure has turned his back on the emotions here, and time for a new phase of life. So I guess the other guys were right. So I'm saying 3 times the charm. This is saying emotionally you need to move on from this situation and see what happens there. All right, money is always tight. So Ashna, I hope that helps you. How exciting! Yeah, we're going to move on from emotionally from the situation. Of course, these things are also terrifying because the entire life is about to change, but I guess that's life, man. Okay, right, thank you. So now, do we have any more questions? If you've got a question for the cards, come along and put it in the chat box, and we'll ask the cards, see what they say. Why do I do the tarot? That's a good question. No one asked it. I'm just throwing it out there. I've been doing the tarot for over 10 years, and I find it to be absolutely fascinating. You know, it sort of started as a hobby, and these days it's sort of moving more and more. And now I am teaching the tarot. So if you'd like to learn how to do the tarot cards, how to learn the tarot cards, using the Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter technique, which involves, of course, it involves the cards, but also there's a lot of memory techniques. I believe the best way to teach, to learn the tarot, to understand the tarot, is you need to get the tarot cards and associations into your subconscious. Once it's in your subconscious at the back of the mind, when the cards come out, you don't have to worry about thinking about meanings. It just flows. It flows out, and the pictures and stories that they tell us all become clear. So still no more questions from anyone. So we can carry on, and I could do a sample reading, even though we've done quite a few readings. Maybe we can, well, maybe we could pause it there and say ta-ta for now, because we're coming up on 50 minutes, blimey. So it's been a good time. I'd like to say thank you everyone for joining us. I'm Peter from Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter, presented by thetarotech.com, the #1 website for all of your tarot needs and tarot learning and education and readings and all that sort of stuff. Please get in touch with me, send me some messages or stuff. I know that's what people like to do, and I love it. I love to hear from people and love to hear their problems. You can send me some questions when I'm offline, and we can look at them later and come back to them in different readings. If you want a private reading, get in touch with me and I can do private one-on-one readings where we can go a lot deeper into situations. So for now, thank you for coming along. I've been Peter with Spiritual Tarot Readings with Peter, presented with thetarotech.com. Peace and love, people.